Hello, Edem.
Yes, can you hear me?
No sound.
No sound. Hey, so where should I go?
Hey, I said
Okay, let me do settings.
okay,
Audio.
now I can hear you.
Aha.
Yeah. Oh, you've gone off again. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you now. I can see
Okay.
you too.
You can see me too.
Hi, good
So you say
evening.
you come to Ghana. Who the heat?
I'll come soon.
Who the heat? No, who the heat? That chair say you prefer being in a cold.
And the holidays never over.
Mat, mat. So are we ready now?
We are live.
Okay,
Yes, we are
sure.
live.
All right.
I see you are in the office.
Yes, which is my for better. A bit to me. Probably they will hear a lot. I mean, you hear exactly what goes on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this on this maiden edition of Let's Talk Careers and we are going to
Yeah.
delve into the careers, especially the aircraft talent. But before we do that,
Yeah.
we will talk about you and how you came into the aviation industry. Before we start,
Okay.
I'd like to welcome all our guests to tonight's show. This is the Aviation Canteen Show on GH-Aviation, and we are working on Let's Talk Careers and You. I am Lizzie Sasu, your host, and we have Edem Attipoe, our guest on the call tonight. We are hoping that you will all enjoy tonight's session. And if you have comments, if you have feedback, if you want to ask questions, let us know, and we'll be happy to answer you. Our guest has dropped off the call. As we wait for her, let's talk careers and you. The aviation industry, it's a big industry, and there are different careers in the industry, as most of us know. Tonight, we're going to look at one of the careers, which is aircraft marshalling. And we have the first female aircraft marshaller in Ghana to help us understand this career. But before we delve into the career, would want her to talk about herself a little and how she came into the aviation industry. Edem, welcome to the
Yes.
show. Over to you.
Thank you
Let
so
us know
much.
who you are and what helped you to decide to become an aircraft marshaller.
Thank you very much. My name is Edem Attipoe. I'm a 49-year-old lady. If Copy, I can see I'm in the office, so it makes it easier for some of us to, my listeners to understand what exactly is going on. So, I've been in the aviation industry for the past um, 25 years. January was my 25th year in the aviation. I came in as a secretary in 1999, and I was a secretary at civil aviation with a lot of the directors moving from one department to department. So I am privileged to know in every department what they do there. So when you ask me about the aviation industry in every department, I know exactly what they do because I work there as a secretary. And then Faith found me in 20, 2011, I think 2011, at the ramp. It wasn't easy at all. It had been very, 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 I say that level was a very sad or not too good to talk about because I was going through a lot of depression and, and then bitterness and all that. And then I came in, I thought I was out of the country for about 2 years, 2.5 years. I took leave without pay. And then when I came back, I had to come, be posted to RAM. That is where I found myself at RAM. We used to call it RAM, and now it's called Airside. So I always tell people that you're brought for doing inside, yes. And then I was able to go through because at that time, being a secretary, there was nothing to do because the manager knows his reports and everything. They do it by themselves, so they didn't really need a secretary. You come to work and there's nothing or little to do.
to
And
do.
I had to push to say I want to be an aircraft marshal. In fact, I even wanted a transfer to public relations because I did um, communication, strategic communication at UCC. So I thought I could go to public relations, but they said no, I couldn't do. Couldn't go because there was no vacancy there, and I had to stay here. And staying here, I didn't want to be a secretary because there was nothing to do. So I decided that okay, then why don't I veer into the marshalling area? And that was stuff. It is a man's job where all the guys, they are guys. It's purely technical. Their language they speak is different. Their way of, I would say, their way of working and their on the round way, everything is different. So
Okay.
finally, to cut everything short, I was able to be given the opportunity to go for the training, which I failed for 3 times. And the last time I just needed 50% mark. And then God being so good on my side, I was able to make it and became an aircraft specialist. Now we have 15 women in the session here. I have one lady here, 50 is here and on duty. So basically, that's how come I became an aircraft specialist.
Wow.
Yeah.
From what you just said, I heard you mention you failed like 2 times. You failed twice
Coming in,
before,
I
twice
think
or 3 times.
yes, I think in fact 3 times. Okay,
Oh, okay.
3 times. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Meaning that,
It was,
meaning that is you just wanted to be in the industry. You just needed to be there. So no matter the failure.
yes, I wanted to be there, and especially when you are a bit exposed, you realize that it comes a time in your life, certain opportunities. I mean, you have to grab it one, and then the field I was as a secretary, I felt that in the next 10 or 15 years time, that will be fading away, and I
Okay.
needed a change when it comes to my political, my professional career. I wanted a change. I wanted a change badly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And would you attest to the fact that this change has helped you and it's something that was okay for you to do at that time?
Yes, in fact, it has changed my attitude, it has changed my perception about life totally. I mean, being an aircraft marshal is not just, coming to park planes. The way you think, your mind, you always have to be on top of everything. So I think this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm so grateful. This is the best thing when you tell me moving from, I would say, the arts world to the sciences is the best. Is the best for me. Yeah, and it wasn't easy migrating.
Okay. You made mention of leaving the art world. to the sciences, does it mean that if you are not vested in the science, you cannot be an aircraft marshal? What are
Yes,
you
it's very,
supposed
very
to
good.
know? What are you supposed to learn? For instance, someone is coming out of the senior high school, or they are coming out of junior high school, and they want to know what course to pursue in SHS to be able to come into this industry.
Okay, so right now, I think right now there are online courses for even aircraft marshalling and all that. But from the time I was then, you have to know your math because you have to calculate. In
Okay.
you have to calculate the wind, the speed. You have to know your geography. You have to know the type of weather we have. You have to know the type of clouds we have. Okay, and the interesting part now is you have to even the sciences when it comes to you have to know wildlife too as well. So
Okay.
it's more science. So you have to know your math. You have to know your biology because at the end of the day you are going to deal with the wildlife. That is the birds. So you have to know
Okay.
your biology, you have to know your physics, and then yeah, physics. So these three things, I mean, you really, really have to know. And it wasn't that easy for me because I'm the science lady, and then I did secretarial, so French, English, typing, shorthand, and then later I went to do public relations. So nothing at all in science, but
Oh
I had
wow.
to do it.
Okay. Okay. So would you say that the reason why maybe you failed 3 times was because you had no knowledge about the science language?
Yes, yes. And then the earth side itself was so new to me. I didn't
Okay.
know about anything. Yes. And
Okay.
to have the sense
How
of
many years as a secretary before you moved to the air force? In
12
your
years.
okay. So you
12
were
years.
a secretary for 12 years and you never went to
Yeah.
the airside. You never visited
No.
the ramp to see what was happening
Oh,
there.
I did. But if I'm coming to the air if I'm coming to the airside, then it's more of coming to probably deliver some letters or but getting interested in it, it never crossed my mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Wow, that's interesting.
Can you hear me?
Well,
Yeah,
yes, I can hear you. That's very
yeah,
interesting, really. Your story till now.
yeah.
Let's delve into the aircraft marshalling itself. What is
Okay.
aircraft marshalling in Ghana and in the world?
Okay. So basically, in a short way, when you say an aircraft marshal, is more of marshaller is on the air side that makes sure that the pilots pack directly or the pilots park well on the bay. You are giving the pilot a bay and he parks well because you are the eye of the aircraft, the pilot. The moment the pilot touches down, he's looking out for you to direct him or her where to park. So basically, that is it. But there are more to it. When you come to the airport, we always say that we have three areas of the airport. We have the land side, we have the air side, and then we have the land side, and then the air side, and then the terminal. So there are these three areas. Now, when it comes to the land side, the air side, we have the runway, we have the taxiway, and then we have the maneuvering areas. The maneuvering areas are where the the planes, maneuver and then come and park. Okay. So as an aircraft marshaller, one of the basic things you have to do is to make sure that your runway, your taxiway, and your maneuvering areas are safe,
Okay.
very safe for the aircraft. Because even a pin that drops or a spillage can cause a crash. So we make sure that every time the runway, the taxiway, and the maneuvering areas are neat. When it comes to the maneuvering areas too, we have the areas where we park the core buses and then the equipment the airlines or the handlers use to serve the aircraft. So you have to make sure they are also packed neatly that you won't have any obstruction.
Okay.
So we have one. So as a typical aircraft marshaller, on what we have to do is we have to go for inspection. We go for inspection four times in a day.
And when we have bad weather or it's raining, we do additional to make sure that there are no, waters on the runway or in the taxiway. So we go for inspection, make sure the lights are okay when it comes into the night. And we have to know every light and its color. We have the edge lights, which is blue. We have the middle lights, which are white, and you also have the side lights, which are yellow. So you have to also know the distance between one light and the other. When the lights are not working, you have to quickly report to tower, and they report to the electrical people. They will come and fix it. You make sure that is neat, and we also have to make sure that the maneuvering areas are also neat. And one interesting thing is we don't only have inspection on the runway and the taxiway and the maneuvering areas. We will have inspection 30 kilometers radius around the airport. We do this because you remember when I was my submission, I said you have to know your biology, you have to know your biology, you have to know your birds. Now we do this because we have to ward off birds, and we have to stop things that attract birds onto the runway and the taxiway. So we make sure that every dustbin around is covered. So we have to make sure that Marina Mall, the dustbins are covered. We have to make sure that from the motorway is neat to Medina and Tema, everything is neat. We also have to make sure that grasses are leveled so that when the weeds are growing, it attracts birds, termites attract birds. There shouldn't be any ant hills around. So we do all these things so that it will not attract birds into the airport. So that's what we do after inspection. Now, when an aircraft lands and park, we do something we call compliance. What we do is we have to make sure that every aircraft, if it's not live, that is, if the anti-collision is not on, is coned. You see some cones around it so that everybody knows that the aircraft is parked. Exactly. And then when the aircraft is not parked, maybe just came to park and is preparing um, to take off, we have to make sure that those around the aircraft, they have their PPEs on, they have their safety boots on. When they are fueling the aircraft, we also have to make sure that those fueling are adhering to safety rules. That is, no calls are being made and no spillage. So we go around and also make sure that all the equipments are being packed, everything, so that we wouldn't have any issues when an aircraft is being on it. And then we also make sure that when the anti-collision light is on, nobody goes close to the aircraft.
Okay.
And that is when we are preparing and they are moving. Then we have to help. Those days, if we don't have what do you call it, the aero bridges, then you have to help the pilot to start its engine because he doesn't see anything on the ground. Starts its engine. When it starts its engine, he tells us that now we can tell the guy who has the chalk to remove the chalk. The aircraft is safe to go. After that, when you come to the office, when you come to the airport, we have the monitors that we call the FITs. Is the flight information display system. You see it around. Okay, see all those when you see African world is going, maybe an aircraft has an airline has cancelled the flight. We in the office as an aircraft marshal, that is the operation room. We get the information from control tower, and control tower puts it in, give it to us, and then we put it in the FAPE and then the tracking system, and it displays it at the airport for everybody to see. Apart from that, any aircraft that touches down, we have to record it.
Okay.
We record every aircraft that touches down. So you have to make sure that it's being recorded in the book and then in the system as well. When we record it in the system, that is we are we are I'm sorry. When we record it in the system, that is that we bill it, and then account people come for it, and then they give the receipt to the airline. So we do a lot of things in the control room. Aside that, we have machines that we call best care machines. You remember that I told you that we always have to ward off birds from the airport because it catches when an aircraft gets a bird strike, it's serious. If it doesn't crash, it causes a dent on the aircraft, and that makes it, we have to go for repairs and all that, and it's expensive. So we have bird scare machine here. We have to know the type of birds that have entered the airport. We have to know the type of bird, where it's migrating from. We also have to know that. We also have to know what its characteristics, what it does. So we have this bird scare. When you realize that probably the birds around, it rains and the birds around is a crow. We have the best care machine where you put it on and then it makes certain noise that scares the birds away. Now this machine is not being used often because when they get used to the sound, then it means that they will not know that there is danger. So they'll just, when they get familiarized to it, okay, they will not mind. So we hardly put it on. We put it on for very long time. So that's what we do in the control room. So that is the details of and being an aircraft marshal at the airport. Yeah,
You've said a lot of things with regard to the
yeah.
aircraft marshalling career. What struck me was the best strike. To those who don't know what best strike is, can you give a brief overview of what it is? A best strike,
Okay,
why is it
so
important to your career?
okay, so the bird strike is when I said that there are birds around, and then when airline or the aircraft um, is coming to land. You know, the aircraft they uses a lot of land, a wind. So when
Okay.
there's a bird around, it draws the birds to the aircraft. So it hits it. Sometimes it goes into the engine. When it goes into the engine, there could be a crash, and or sometimes it hits the engine. So we always advise people in the area that we should make sure that we don't do things that will attract birds. Sometimes too, if there are dogs around, when you come to the airport, there are residents around. And when they have dogs, stray dogs come onto the runway, the aircraft hits it. We have
Oh,
situations where the aircraft hits dogs or cats on the runway, and quickly it attracts birds. Within the next 10 minutes, you see birds around. So this, what we do is quickly we have to go for the carcass and dispose of it. So birds are one of the dangers. They say it's an endangered species, but it's a dangerous speech when it comes to the airport. Yeah.
okay. How do you locate the carcass? For instance, a dog has been knocked down, but there are no birds around. How do you locate the carcass before the birds come?
Okay, so immediately the pilot lands and he knocks a bird. He notifies the control tower that
Okay.
since he has knocked something on the runway. So quickly they inform us, and then quickly we go and then take the carcass, and then we take records of it, identify the kind of bird that it hit, and then we also investigate why that type of bird around this time. So
Okay.
you have to know all your birds, how they behave, where they are migrating from. So a bird might be migrating. Okay, we know we are migrating around this time. So we always make sure that even the Ramsar sites in Accra, we identify them, and we also go there for inspections and identify the kind of birds that have come around.
Okay. Let's use the 37 military hospital as an example, where you have all these bats
Yeah,
hovering
the bats. Yeah,
at a particular point in time. The 37 military
yeah,
hospital with all the bats.
yeah.
How do you curtail those bats in not hitting the
Okay,
aircraft?
so yeah, now we have a section that we call wildlife, which is really deep into it. And I know that we had meetings with authorities the municipal assemblies, the regional RCC. I know we actually got them involved and they are working something about it. I think for now they don't have those bats around. I'm not too sure, but I know
Oh, okay.
we do with all those here.
I see. This is an interesting conversation. Welcome to all our
Yeah.
viewers. This is Let's Talk Careers and You. We are here tonight with Edem Attipoe, the first female aircraft marshal in Ghana. And she's letting us
Yeah.
know what the aircraft marshalling career is all about, how to get to the first female aircraft
Charlie
marshal.
eyes for you.
Edem is in the office, as you can
Delta
see.
one, and Delta
I
one.
hope you are hearing some of the should I say noises? Is it noise or the communication going on around? Adam, in your speech, you made mention of ATC, air traffic control, getting in touch with you in case they find
Yeah.
birds hovering around. I want to understand, does that mean that you always have direct contact with ATC
Yes, in
in
fact,
your duties?
yes,
Do you work
ATC, that's the air
independently
traffic
or
control.
you depend on each other to fulfill your duties in parking the aircraft and making sure the safety are on the road?
Okay. Be very careful. Stop going into my bag. ATC, we deal directly with ATC. In fact, I would say they when we come to our SOPs, they are our number one. If ATC is calling you on any phone calls that come, you attend first to ATC. So we deal directly with them, and then so they are like a channel between us and the pilots. We don't communicate with the pilots. It's ATC that communicates with the pilots, and so they whatever the pilots will say, they tell us. Whatever I want to tell the pilots, we tell ATC.
Okay. I'm look I'm looking at one of your pictures and I see that you're trying to pack the aircraft. Are you telling me that you are not in direct communication with the pilot, but rather the ATC? Thank you, our viewers, for joining us this evening. We are live with Edem Attipoe, the first female aircraft marshal. She just dropped off. I'm hoping she will be joining us in some seconds. But we've been discussing about the aircraft marshalling career in the aviation chain. And so far, so good. She's spoken about herself, what made her delve into the career.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
welcome.
when we are in the office, it's by radio or phone. But when you're on the field, it's with radio, and we do the signs. So the pilots they know the sign, we know the sign. When I say 10 let, he knows I say 10 let. So that is the signs we do. After that, whenever we want to do anything, we tell tower on the radio that we want to do this. So we tell the pilots to probably put off the lights, it's taxing lights, or maybe whatever information we communicate to tower, then to the pilot.
Okay, I just want to understand this. The verbal communication is between yourself and tower, but the non-verbal communication is between you and the pilot.
It's science, yeah. We use the science.
Hello.
Yeah, that's it. So verbal is through tower, and then non-verbal is just the science. We
Hello.
do it directly. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you went off. You went
Oh,
off, so
okay.
we didn't get your submit. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I was
If you
saying
can repeat it
verbal.
again.
Yeah, I was saying
We are
so
talking about
verbal.
the verbal and non-verbal
Yeah,
communication.
so verbal we use the radio or the telephone.
You are muted. You are muted.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah. So the verbal, we use the radio. So I have a radio here like this. This is one of our radios we use. So this we use the radio to tower or even the men on the field. Mind you, I communicate with I'm in the office, so I communicate with my men on the field through the radio. This one, and then we use to this one to talk to tower. So any information we want, we use this one to talk to tower, and then tower one tells the pilot, and then he gets the information for us to.
Okay. But what I want to understand is that Tower is the middleman in this scenario. You talk
Exactly,
to
tower is
Tower,
the middle.
Tower speaks to the pilot. That's a verbal communication. But when it comes to the non-verbal communication, you communicate directly with the pilot using your tools.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, that is right. Yeah, that is right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the
You're welcome.
clarification. I just wanted to understand that part
Yeah,
so that it's not like you are communicating verbally with the pilot, but rather there
yeah,
is a middle angle in the equation. Thank you.
you're
Thank you, our
welcome.
viewers, for joining us. We are with Edem Attipoe, the first female aircraft marshal in Ghana, and she's helping us understand what the career is all about. Edem is showing us her office and what is happening in the office. And I think you have a nice view of the airport. To those
Yeah,
who don't
I'm just
know
trying to
the Kotoka
talking.
International Airport,
Yeah. So probably let me show you. This is my office. So this is the tracking
okay,
system. If you can see, this is what we put in the information. Then it gets to
okay,
the fit. Yeah. So this is it. And then I have my book here where I write everything in it. And then this is a very powerful book. So this is called the hot seat. 24 hours until you get somebody to come and change you, you can't leave this place. And then this is the
oh,
billing machine. Just went off. This is the billing machine. That's what we used to bill. Okay. So African word chopped, mic one copy. And then we have this is a spare machine where if everything goes wrong, this standby. And then this is the tracking device. So this is the tracking device. Unfortunately, it's off now because we are not using. So this is the tracking device we use. So when you put it on, wish I could put it on. Okay, it's off. The type you can just press the type of bed that you want to. Then if it's probably an owl, then you press the sound that will scare an owl. You press it and then it makes noise for about 10 minutes and then it goes off. So this is how the office setting is. Yeah. So if you can see it.
oh, okay. And we could hear the radio interference when you were giving the
Yes, so
descriptions.
exactly. So this radio is the transceiver. This little thing here is the transceiver. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yeah,
As a
I can see.
transceiver. It's the communication that goes on between the pilot and then the control tower. We hear it. So we are
Okay.
privileged because yes, so we hear the communication that goes on between the pilot and then the control tower. Yeah. And then we have our own language we speak. We don't just take the radio and then speak. We use the alphabets, the Alpha Bravo Charlie blah blah. We use it, and then we also you can't when you're going to talk on the radio, you have to think and talk. Let's say the tower can say you want to go for an inspection, you have to ask permission from tower, and then he'll tell you, okay, but I'm expecting an aircraft, but you can go within the next 15 minutes. Keep a listening watch. I mean, it's not just keep a listening watch. It means keep listening and then watch at the same time. So we use certain languages that are not you can't use it in not everyday English. I would say, yeah. And then we
You
use
understand yourself.
we understand ourselves. And then one important thing we do also do is in the book we take registration of aircrafts. And every registration is not just there. It's like a car, you have a registration. So when you see 5 November, it means it's registered in Lome, Nigeria. When you see 9 Golf, 9G, it means that it's registered in Ghana. When you see November, just November, you know that it's in the US. When you see Golf, you know that it's Britain. So you should also know every aircraft. When you see Zulu,
Where it's coming
that
from.
is really where it's being registered, the originating country.
Country.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. Mhm.
Wow. This is
Yeah.
a lot. This is a lot.
Mm.
It's not,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
Listening
yeah. It's really, really long.
listening to
It's
you,
really
it's a career that demands a lot of concentration. If
very,
you're
yeah,
someone who doesn't have that much concentration, I don't think you'll be able to do it.
yeah,
Thank you so
exactly.
much for helping us understand the career. But to those out there, to those watching us, I'd like you to tell them what can they do if they want to join you in this field.
In fact, I always tell people that first of all you get your education, that is SS, and then try and do your degree. Because I know people want to from SS, they want to go to the aviation school. When you go to the aviation school, it limits you. Is I think you know it's more of being a handler. So if you go to the university and then you what you can do is make sure that probably you do your attachment. And then 1 second, I have tower on the line. 1 second. Control tower SI.
Yeah, hello. You're not giving the paper, British Airways
De-
6 7.
Delta 1.
All right, and then Black Star 115, 1815, and then Airfield 7762, ETA 1852. Hold on. You guys keep on that far.
Okay, so you go to the school.
Hello?
Yeah, Epis will take
Yeah,
Delta 4.
Delta 4.
Yeah, and Echo for Black Star. So quick, you
I have Springbok 057 1900.
057
Say
19.
again.
Stand by for Springboard.
But the Airfield is coming there by 295. You have the private on Delta 4. How is it not? You're going to pack it with the private.
Delta 3.
Say again.
Delta 3.
Delta 3.
Yes, please.
Then by 295.
295. Delta 3, yeah, Delta 3.
No, no, and by 145. 295.
295.
Yes.
Oh, stand by. Stand by. I have more time. Stand by.
That's 175.
Yes. So sorry. You have to go to so you go to the school, you do your degree, come and do your attachment at the airport. You come and do your attachment at the airport, and then that is a step in one. You get your foot inside, and then when you come, the rest is you explore. Ask, come, oh, I want to be at the air side. I mean, explore and then do it. And then you do your national service here. And then per what you have done, that is your attachment and your national service, and getting job at the airport will not be too difficult for you. But if your parents have money, you can also go to aviation training school, that's civil aviation training school. That is where you can do the courses, which is quite expensive, like airside courses and terminal courses. And then that one too, they can also make you do your attachment here and then get you a job at the airport.
But is it easy to get an attachment at the airport? As a,
After the COVID, for Ghana Airport Company, I don't know about civil aviation, but for Airport Company, during the COVID and after the COVID, there was a break in the attachment. I'm yet to find out if they have started the attachment again, but there was a break because of the COVID. There was a break. Recently, we just started doing the excursion, so I'm sure by now attachments they will start doing attachment, but I have to find out first.
okay. Thank you very much. Good evening once again to our viewers. We are online with the first female aircraft marshal in Ghana, Miss Edem Attipoe, and she's helping us understand what the career is all about. Let's delve into the impact this career has had on you. In your first submission, you said
Okay,
you
so
being a female. What impact
yeah,
has it had on you?
it has really had an impact, a great impact on me. I mean, getting that privilege of being the first female is an impact, and then really opening my eye to opportunities in the aviation world as well, and also traveling, and for me, going to schools and then going to tell them more about aviation. You see, when it comes to aviation, a lot of you people think that it's just being a pilot and then copy, just being a pilot or an air hostess. But there's lots more you can be at the airport. We have our lawyers, we have the doctors, we have the everything. The co-buses. You can be a driver. You can be an aircraft marshaller. You can be those who even chock the aircraft. There's so much job opportunities when it comes to the aviation industry. Yeah. And I'm privileged. This is the impact is actually part of my life, and especially for me, it has changed my perception about life. You see, when it comes to aviation, the aviation and the air side, is more of you being the extra careful, because an incident, just an incident, can cause a crash.
Okay.
So you just have to be more, on top of it. So every time you have to have your mind being cleared and being on top of your job. And that alone, it has created, it has changed my perception about life.
That's wonderful. I'm glad that you were able to join us this evening. Before we put concluding remarks on tonight's session, I want you to tell the youth something about this career and what you think is in store for them for the future.
Oh, you see, I have said so many things, but you know what? The problem is gradually a lot of things are fading away. Drop it. A lot of things will be fading, and the AI, now coming of the AI, you know what is happening now. So you just have to be focused and know exactly what you want to do. Gradually, we are not marshalling aircraft again. Now we have the aero bridges. So we marshal aircraft that will come, aircraft that will use the aero bridges. If about 10 in the 10, 15 years to come, we have aero bridges around. It means we are not going to marshal. We're going to do other things. So I always tell people that just have an open mind. Educate yourself in a sense that so that when you find yourself somewhere, it will not be difficult for you to adapt. Because at a point, I nearly gave up because I didn't know the sciences, and it was very, very tough. You have to go back to the scratch to learn your physics, your rules, and all that. So you have to just avail yourself and have, a very big your mindset in such a way that you can be able to adapt into the system. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You made mention of AI. Do you think AI is really going to impact this side of the industry?
Yeah, the AI, I think that where it will hit more is the aviation industry. That is what I think. How it's going to, I can't really tell, but I have a feeling that it's going to have a big impact and an effect on the aviation industry.
Okay. So with this knowledge, are you getting recurrent trainings with regard to AI and industry?
For now, we have our normal trainings, and then we get on whatever it comes with train. We are always going for training because it's a very sensitive area, so we are being trained every now and then. But for the AI, so far I've never even seen any airport in the world or any aviation industry in the world that is being going that AI world. No, I don't.
All right. Thank you very much,
You're
Edem.
welcome.
First female, mashallah, in Ghana. Oh, tonight has been awesome. It's been a while we had such
Yeah,
conversations, and
it's
I'm
been a while.
yeah, and I'm hoping that we'll be having subsequent ones. I know
Yeah.
you have a lot of knowledge in this industry and other industries as well. Thank you for joining. Thank you to all our
Thank
viewers
you.
for joining this session. It is going to be shared on our various social media handles, and we hope you take a lesson, watch, and advise your people, your children, your youth, yourself. Aviation industry is a very interesting industry, and we hope that a lot of people will join this industry and see what it's all about, what we are passionate about every day. Thank you all so much. My name is Felicia Sui, and my guest is Miss Edem Attipoe. We are doing aviation. This is the Aviation Canteen Show, and we are talking about careers and you. See you next time.
Thank
Oh, Edem, thank you. Have a good night, and thank you for showing us your office and what you do. This is a real life experience,
you.
and
Yeah.
we are grateful for that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have
Bye
a good night.
bye.
Yep, we are done with our session, and we had Miss Edematipo with us. She's the first female aircraft marshal. Aviation has a lot of careers. This is just one of it. We'll come back to you again with another episode and another interesting career topic. See you soon. Bye bye.